Hi, Janelle Watson here, spiritual perspectivist and go-to spiritual connector. Here's a live I did earlier on Facebook. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, hi everybody. My name is Janelle Watson. I'm the spiritual perspectivist and go-to spiritual connector. I'm also a spiritual activator with Feather of Gold. And basically what we do in Feather of Gold is spiritual mentoring. So we're a spiritual business where we do teaching and clearing and mentoring for students. We have online training and we have face-to-face mentoring. And I'd like to introduce, for those of you who don't know Naomi, introduce yourself, lovely.
So, my expertise is holistic health, thyroid healing, non-toxic living, creating your own products in the home, and just connecting that spiritually to holistically.
So what we're going to talk about today is have a look at how your 3D physical living and how your holistic health is actually going to affect your spiritual connection, because what we're all about with Feather of Gold is about spiritual connection and being able to actually make that connection to the other realms, to the other side. And you can't really or realistically do that if you're finding that you're feeling unhealthy or you're not looking after your vessel, your body. And one of the things we need to do is raise our vibration. We're all made up of energy. So we're all made up of atoms. Atoms vibrate at a certain rate. And with that vibration, we get different vibrational energies. And the higher your energy, the higher you have, the greater your chances of connecting with the other realms, of making the connection to your spirit guides, to the angelic realm, to people who have crossed over or transitioned. You can do all of that, but you need to raise your vibration because they're on a different plane to us. And of course, we can do that, by meditating. We can do that with other things, but a healthy lifestyle is also how you do that. And if we have a chat with Naomi about how we can do that with by working with a healthy lifestyle, with a healthy living, we've got lots of different options, and I'll let Naomi actually explain that to you. So
for me, food is really important. Obviously, we eat at least 3 times a day, and if we're going to be putting foods into our body with a low vibration, our cells are going to vibrate lower as well. So food that is as clean as you can, like no chemicals on it, organic, no processed food straight from the earth, all has a really high vibration. So also not putting toxic products into your body. Products straight from the earth like essential oils, I use them all the time for my body products, my medication, my cleaning products. Everything comes from the earth that I use in my home. And there's another high vibration as well, because when we're putting things like perfume on our body, we're depleting our cells, we're affecting our liver, we're affecting our sense of smell, which is really important. It's also, connected to your spirituality.
yeah.
So if you're going to vibrate lower, it's much harder to connect to that spiritual sense that you have. I know since I have stepped into a little bit more holistic health, I have connected a lot more spiritually and become more intuitive, and you become more in tune with your body. You start to know what's going on in your body. You're not putting your health in the hands of somebody else like a doctor. Obviously doctors are important, but you start to feel things going wrong in your body because you get that knowing, because you've got like high vibration things going into your body. Also, reducing oxidative stress is really important because we have so many toxins in our lifestyle.
That's a big one.
Yeah, huge. Oxidative stress affects our cells. It's like aging and rusting in our cells. And I do that with activation. I activate my cells with activation supplements. There's only one kind in the world that you can use. And I do that every single day. And it's only once a day. I know you do it now too. And how much does it bring your energy up and you feel that cellular growth?
Absolutely. Yeah, I find the same thing. When I started using essential oils years ago, I used to do aromatherapy. And so I, loved massaging with essential oils. But I did find as well that they were really different. It depended on the brand and what you bought. And what I've discovered is something to do with the carrier oil. Can you run through that so
Yeah.
that, people understand?
Some essential oil brands have a carrier oil in the oil, or they have a
Yeah.
synthetic. So an
Mm.
essential oil only needs to be 3% essential oil in a bottle to be classed as pure. So you can have 3% of essential oil, this much in a little bottle, and then the rest of it might be alcohol or a
Ooh.
low grade, some sort of carrier. So when
Yeah.
I use a carrier oil, I only use my doTERRA fractionated carrier oil because I know where it comes from. I know it's ethically sourced, it's sustainable. So then you've got the vibration of that coconut oil is going to be higher, and it's going
Yes.
to go into your cells better. And it's the same with the doTERRA essential oils. They are sourced where they're indigenous, where they're native, so they grow more pure. You've got that vibration that's higher. I've done workshops where I've held a doTERRA essential oil and another brand, and we have the pendant swinging over it, and
Cool.
you can see the vibration of the doTERRA oils are much greater than other brands.
That's pretty awesome. I found actually that I've started using essential oils myself when I do connection and I do medium or oracle card reading. So I'll actually put frankincense, for example, on the back of my neck and on the roof of my mouth. And people will look at you and go, why? Well, it's because it's a protection oil. It actually works as a protection for me.
Yeah, it's a
So
very spiritual oil. It helps people cross over as well when they're passing. So I use spearmint before I do a little seminar or something like that where I'm going to speak like this, because it's the oil of speech. So every oil has that emotional connection and can help something in your body. I also might use peppermint because it switches on the brain, gets the oxygen going, and rosemary is also good for focus and concentration. So just
cool.
things like that to enhance what you're doing is really important. And when we're suppressing it with deodorants and perfumes and we put so many chemicals onto our body and we eat so many chemicals, we're suppressing all of those things and our brain fog starts happening. And the cellular, we're just made up of so many cells, and we can't detox ourselves properly if we don't have the right tools going into our body, and if we're suppressing it with a lot of toxic energy and a lot of toxic food and products.
And low vibrational, of course, if you're eating low vibrational foods or you've got low vibrational products that are creating that, it makes it harder to get through the fog, but it makes it harder to make a connection. It's a little bit like, say your guides were wanting to connect with you and you're at a party. Now, if you might be standing where you are and your friend might be standing 4 feet away, you need to get a message to them. Now, at a party, you're going to find that you have to shout at them, and sometimes they're not, they don't hear you. And that's because you're not vibrating at a high enough vibrational rate as far as connecting with your guides are concerned. Whereas if you're vibrating at a higher rate, it's more like just the two of you being in a single room. Well, you just need to speak. You don't need to shout.
Yeah.
And it's that same thing. Your guides will connect with you if you're vibrating at a higher rate. So if you're doing everything you can, not just meditating and not just, dancing and whatever brings up your energy, which is great, but doing the little bit of extra to look after your body, then you're going to get that vibrational energy happening, which will actually enhance your connection. And as an activator, it's one of the roles I play, is that I can actually talk to people and start activating their spiritual connection.
Yeah.
From that point onwards, though, it's up to them to start, to keep it going.
And that's why it affects our sleep as well. So if we're exhausted, we're not going to want to connect higher as well. And that's why it's called holistic health, because it's the whole package. It's everything. It's not just, I had a salad today and you didn't have, breakfast, lunch and dinner. It was breakfast, lunch and dinner is important. And I'm not saying you can't ever cheat or have your wine or whatever, but when you're putting that in, constantly drip feeding it into your body just is going to say, I don't understand. So when we put in plants, our body has a very similar DNA to plants. So our body uses it and we accept it into our cells. Okay. So things like essential oils on a plant are like a defense mechanism for the plant. It defends the plant against fungus, virus, mold. So when we put an essential oil in, our body goes, oh, I get that. And it starts to use the essential oil exactly the same way that the plant does. But when we put in a synthetic medication that we don't really need, like we might grab a cold and flu tablet or something, our body goes, I don't understand it. It sends it to the liver to detox it, and your body starts to fight that medication instead of fighting the virus or the bacteria or whatever's in your body. So when we're starting to put our energy into fighting something that shouldn't be there, we're taking it away from where it should be going.
So we're changing the focus of the energy by not having a healthy eating habit as well.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize that. They think that they can just go on drinking, soda drinks, or, soft drinks or whatever you call them. And, and for example, the amount of sugar that's in those drinks, and your poor old body is trying to balance all of that. And it's trying to stay healthy and trying to connect. And, we've been given this vessel. We've been blessed with this vessel. We need to look after it the best we can. And it helps with your emotions too, doesn't it?
100%, because it's all connected, your physical, spiritual. So when I talk about healing to people, we usually just concentrate on the physical, but if we're not unplugging the emotional and mind, body, spirit, we're just going down the one path and we still have that underlying issue.
So that's the Trinity.
Yeah.
Mind, body, spirit.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's lovely. Okay, so if we're looking at doing that, I know that you've got some gorgeous recipes on your blog page. I must admit I've seen and tried quite a few of them, and very nice and easy. You really do quite a good job of actually making it easy for people to follow.
Well, because that's what I want to do. I don't have time to throw in 500 ingredients. No one can afford it. No one wants to do that. And I used to be a cook in preschool, so the cook is the hardest job in the centre of a preschool because you don't have a lot of time to cook for a lot of people. And I always wanted to do it as healthy as possible. So I'm always mindful of what ingredients, and because kids react really badly to preservatives and sugar and things like that. And when I'm working with kids, I will say to people, have you considered what they're eating? And some people get sensitive, but it's completely true that they have a reaction. It might not be behaviour. It could be in the tummy, in emotionally. It can be sleep, headaches, nausea, anything like that from certain chemicals in food. So I've tried to make a lot of recipes with nothing in it except, and it's all got vegetables in it and foods that the whole family will eat as well.
Yeah, well, look, your kids are eating it, and that's great. I mean, and that's a good, testimonial to you and what you're actually doing. One of the things I found too is we've got a teenager who's quite spiritual, but he's just stepping into it at the moment. But I have noticed that when he eats certain foods, he gets grumpier. When he eats certain foods, he doesn't. And it's not that he's really aware of it fully, but he will say to me, I feel a bit yuck after I've eaten this stuff. It's like, well, don't eat it.
Yeah. Simple, but it's not that simple, is it really sometimes?
Yes, it is. But when it actually comes to looking at energy levels, like we got a new bed recently, which was great. We needed a new mattress. It was like 14 years old. And that has helped the sleep. But I have noticed that with the things that we've been doing with the essential oils, so we've got essential oils vaporizing in the room. And do you want to explain how the doTERRA vaporizer works? Because it doesn't get hot.
No. So I've got one just here. I always have mine going in the office. So you can see I can put my hand over it. It's just a cold steam. It actually atomizes the essential oils. It doesn't heat them up, because if we heat up essential oils, it destroys some of the properties. So it just atomizes them and puts them very gently through the air. And that is one of the best ways to get your oils into you, because what you smell goes straight up to the emotional center of your brain, and that's directly connected to your central nervous system. So you're affecting all parts of your body.
And some of those oils will actually help clear your pineal gland.
Yep.
Which of course helps with your third eye and your connection.
Yes. Exactly.
So what oils are we looking at for, say we're looking at doing spiritual connection and we want to make sure we're safe, so we're burning a white candle, and I always have one burning up here and everywhere. I usually have about 3 around me, and we encase ourselves in a bubble of white light. But what would be the essential oils you could actually recommend for somebody to use when they're actually meditating, for example?
Yeah, I use frankincense, lavender, patchouli. What else do I use? Depends on what sort of meditation I want to do as well. If
Mhm.
I want meditation for energy, I'll use peppermint and wild orange. But if
Yep.
I want meditation for sleep, it's got like vetiver and cedarwood. The woody, grounding, earthy oils are really good for it.
Oh, sensible. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, because trees, put out our
Earthy.
oxygen, they put out energy and stuff. So, yeah, I do that a lot. Sitting outside and getting on the earth is a great way as well with your oils to meditate, touching the earth, getting that vibration from the earth and the energy, using the energy, the electrons and everything coming up through the earth with no shoes on, is a
Or the
great,
negative ions from the earth that actually come in, the negative ions that
yeah.
from the earth that actually come up, they help to balance you and they help you with connection and your meditation. So they'll help you with all of that as well. But even if you can't get out and sit on the earth, if you're high up in a building or at work or something, you can still use the essential oils, can't you, to actually help you with that grounding process.
Yeah, and there's no really wrong answer. Like if you are
Mhm.
drawn to pick up peppermint or vetiver, pick it up because that's what your body. We've got to start remembering that we are very intuitive, and our body has an amazing capacity to heal itself. And when your body's saying pick up that oil, it wants you to pick up that oil.
Yeah, in fact, what I've started doing is because mine are in the cupboard behind me here, and what I've started doing is I'll hover my hand over it and then find one, and whatever I pick up is the right oil for what I need. And it's amazing the connection that you actually get with that.
Yes, and you'll see children do that really well. They are so in tune. They don't, have any thoughts about, oh, this is an essential oil, it's for hippies or whatever. They're like, oh, wow, it smells pretty. And they always pick up the right oil. I let my children put their own oils in their own diffuser every night because why would I pick it for them? I mean, I know sometimes what they need, but um, when they pick their own oils for sleep and relaxation and calming, I'm totally open for them to do it because they know what they need. They're in tune. They are way more in tune with these things than adults are.
Yeah, and they've got a better sense of their chakra system, and their chakra system will allow them to tell them what's in balance, what's out of balance. And a lot of the time you'll find with kids, if they're misbehaving, it is often their grounding chakra, their base
Yeah.
chakra that's out. So what would you recommend food-wise, for example? Because I know with foods, you can balance your chakras with foods.
Yeah.
Some of it's to do with the food color, which
Yeah.
is interesting because it matches the chakra color. And it's amazing when you look at spiritual colors, how it's all connected.
Yeah.
But what foods do you say, for example, that you would use to balance, say, the root chakra? If kids are feeling a little bit, and they just need grounding.
Well, I'd stay away from processed food, gluten and dairy. But definitely apples, definitely anything that comes off a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just stick to fresh whole food, fruits, fresh vegetables, which is really hard with kids a lot of the time. But if you
Yeah.
can find one of them that they like,
Yep.
and it's about just introducing it to them all the time. Like if they don't like it once, doesn't mean they're not going to like it again. So just keep on putting it in front of them and getting them to have a little taste.
Mm.
Like my kids, they don't have a choice. This is what you've got. There's no peanut butter sandwich after this or whatever. This is dinner.
Yep.
But they're quite, and that's been the way since they were little, and they're quite open to new things a lot of the time. Like sometimes they have a bit of a meltdown. I don't want this, whatever. But
They're
as
kids,
long as they're getting, something fresh. They love their fruit, so I'm happy with that. My daughter's like more into the exotic fruits and the expensive stuff, which is great. Berries and mangoes and whatever. My
Yep.
son's happy with apples and oranges and yeah, so we've always
Everyday
had
fruit.
fruit in the house. And I get mine from the farmer's market, the local farmer's market. One, because it's local, and two, they're not spraying it with all sorts of things and you're helping a local business.
Yep. Cool. So the other things too that with grounding, with base root chakra, you can actually use root vegetables.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at, and you shouldn't, I guess, eat too much in the way of potatoes and sweet potatoes and things, but sweet potato is actually really good for both the root chakra and the sacral chakra because
Sweet
that's
potato
actually
is
quite
great for
good.
everything. Like the the blood
Carrots
sugar
are good too.
levels, hormones. So it's just, but on a whole level, sweet potato is really great if you can get your kids to eat it. I mash it with some potato and broccoli,
Yes.
and they love it. Or they don't know what's in it, so I just shove everything in there.
Yes. Yeah, I've always done the same thing. But I also find carrots are good too because they get rid of that craving for sweetness.
Yeah.
Because carrots are naturally sweet and they're very good. The same thing for root, because they're from in the earth, so they're good for the root chakra. So anything that's from the earth is good for your base chakra because that's
Yeah.
where you're connecting to. It's all your grounding. So with energy though, so once we've actually done that and we've got energy, I know this sometimes I look at people and I just say to them, will you please ground? Because to me, it's like looking at one of those plasma balls. You know, the way you actually look at people and you can almost, well, I can see the energy. It's like when you put your hand on the sparks from those plasma balls
Yeah.
that you get. And I look at some people and I'm like, how are you going? And they're like, oh, I feel a bit scared. It's like, yeah, you look like a plasma ball. Go ground. You know, in fact, some nights Greg will get into bed and he's all over the shop and he'll run his hand up and down me and he'll go, and I'll feel that buzzing. It's a buzzing. And it's like, will you stop that? It's like, what? And I said, go ground. Just do some grounding. Because it's just like zzz everywhere.
Yeah.
But in saying that, in keeping your energy levels up, you need to ground, yes, but we don't bring the energy levels down. We bring the energy levels up. So if we're bringing energy levels up, what is it that you're using? And I know that I've started using this as well, that you can actually do with the supplements wise, because some people just need supplements.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to choose wisely because they're not all created equal. Most supplements have a synthetic in it, so that's why your body will try and flush it out, no matter, and whatever is good with it as well. So it'll all go with it because your body's not going to go, I'm going to pick this bit out and that bit out, and it will absorb what it needs, but it'll also flush out the other stuff. So what I use is called an activation, and you just take it once a day and it actually activates the cells in your body to create their own antioxidants. So when we put in fruit or vegetables, or we put in a supplement, we're putting antioxidants into our body, but these actually get your cells to make their own, which enhances your energy levels, enhances cellular repair, cellular detox, and it gets rid of your oxidative stress, which is what is the major cause of disease, anxiety, depression, ADHD, all those things. So when we're putting that into our body and we're activating our own body to do the work for it,
awesome. Yeah,
it's enhanced.
Yeah, and that's what you want too, is you want something that's going to activate your body. I mean, I know over the time I've taken supplements, vitamin supplements. The same thing, you see, like, you go to the bathroom and just it's all gone. It's all gone.
Right, yellow.
It's not working and you don't feel different either.
Yeah.
Whereas I've noticed when I've been taking these activation supplements that I actually, after a couple of weeks, I was feeling much better.
Yeah.
And even though we are a new business, so we're working like crazy in the back end, and we've got clients that we do mentoring for, and we're putting together, we've got 37 topics we're putting together for these online trainings, and setting it up so it's all automatic. People can just log in and do it. But that's a lot of work on our behalf to get it set up. Once it's done, it's great, but at the moment we're sort of walking around like zombies half the time because we're just so tired. But with these products, I was finding it makes a difference. And I also found that it does stop you from getting hungry for the rubbish foods.
Certainly does. It definitely, because it's working on your liver, and your liver is what's causing a lot of those cravings. So it's helping clear all the old crap deep from inside your liver out. And I noticed it stopped because I had my thyroid was quite bad and I had no energy. I had done all the right things with reducing stress, reducing toxins, and clean eating, and I was much better, but I just couldn't get to that pinnacle of where I wanted to go. And when my friend told me about this, I was like, you know what, I'll try anything. And I tried many supplements, and some of them you could see coming out in the toilet, like you said, and if it is bright yellow, don't take them because they're not working anyway. And so when I tried this, and after a few weeks I was feeling the same as you, I'm like, my memory was getting better,
Yes,
my
yeah.
clarity, my energy levels were much higher, and people were noticing, and I just started to drop weight so quickly. And it's been probably 8 months and I've lost nearly 20 kilos just from
Wow.
so it's completely balanced my thyroid. I
Mhm.
have my cholesterol is perfect, blood pressure, all the things that were wrong are now
Yep.
how they should be. I've got no more
Yep.
heart pounding. I'm exercising again. So definitely activates your body. It flicks a switch. So your body just goes,
Yep.
right, I'm back.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is. It's really good. I've really enjoyed, and I can't see us actually going off it. I've noticed a difference in Greg as well
Yeah.
when he actually does that. But well, that's awesome. So if we're looking at wanting to balance or holistically look after ourselves, obviously we're doing meditation, we're doing, high vibrational things that make us happy, laughing, joyful, but things to enhance that are eating well, ensuring that you're actually using high vibrational products, eating high vibrational foods, and they're foods that are healthy for you. Mostly vegetables, we're saying, aren't we? Are high
Yeah.
vibrational, but we're
Yeah.
not saying, you have to be vegan or vegetarian
No.
or, it's not. People sort of get a little bit upset and a bit possessive about, how they're eating, which
Yeah.
is fine. And whatever suits everybody suits everybody. But I think the big thing is that the overall health to do with being both a physical person and a spiritual, so in other words, being a soul having a human experience, means that we have to balance both of those.
And it's just about adding more into your diet. So as a mum, I know that you concentrate more on what your kids are eating than what you are eating. So you're like, you got to have more fruit, you got to have more vegetables, but you forget to have a piece of fruit. Or
Yes.
so it's about being aware of what you're eating as well. I always get people to write it down because they go, I don't really eat, like if they've got a gluten sensitivity, I don't really eat gluten. And then I go, okay, we're going to have to write this down because they go, oh, I do eat a bit of gluten actually. Like, so making yourself aware of what you're actually eating is really, really important, and adding more things that are going to cleanse your body. Make yourself a fresh vegetable juice, which is going to help the liver, or
Oh, celery juice. I've started doing that.
Celery juice, straight celery juice every morning on an empty stomach is great.
Mm-hmm.
But straight cucumber juice is good as well. But I love green apple, ginger, cucumber, and baby spinach.
Oh, yum.
So nice, and it's very cleansing. It's hydrating because we're not hydrated enough either. Just drinking water is not hydrating. And if you're drinking water out of the tap, it's got aluminium, it's got chlorine, fluoride, very dehydrating to the body. And so if you can top yourself up with a fresh vegetable and a little bit of fruit, more vegetable than fruit, juice that's going to hydrate you. Coconut water is going to hydrate you as well. And the other thing that people don't realize is wearing sunglasses. So it blocks that natural light into your eyes. So when you get up in the morning, great thing to get your cortisol producing is to go outside, shoes off, stand on the grass and look into the sun to start producing that cortisol. And then in the afternoon, do the same thing. Because, when we're wearing sunglasses, we're blocking the production of cortisol and melatonin.
Wow. There's something I didn't know.
Yeah. And so if you're outside in the afternoon, that nice pinky orange sunlight is what's helping you produce the melatonin. And when you've got bare feet and you're taking some deep breaths, really grounding to the earth, it's going to help you connect more and sleep better.
That's awesome. Thank you.
It's okay.
I've really enjoyed our chat. I hope everybody's found it helpful, useful. And I'd love to chat again about a few other things.
Yes, definitely.
As we go through time. So, Naomi, thank you so much. And everybody for joining us. Be spiritual, be safe. And we'll catch you on the flip side next video.
Take care.
Bye.